Okay,
Where to
but
start?
now, spoilers,
Yeah.
spoilers,
Yeah.
spoilers, spoilers. We're going to spoil everything in the movie. My name is Andrew Whipple.
I'm Alex Wade.
Hey,
Hi.
look at that. A remake of A New Hope that happens to be in a universe where A New Hope canonically already existed. It more feels like this is a Star Wars movie inspired by growing up watching Star Wars.
Harrison Ford did it because, it's like, okay, this is the one movie.
And how great is it that we...
And it was fantastic.
How great is it that we got a movie that's a Han Solo... He is the lead. If I was rewriting this trilogy, I would have movie 2 be The Search for Luke. Because it's a little kitty cat that's a robot.
The first time they met, it, turned.
I'm curious why they decided to go in the stealth reboot of A New Hope direction, and part of me wonders if it's not as a way to make the fact that this is a Star Wars movie where you have no, other than Han Solo, no white male protagonists, to make that go over a little bit better. With here's all this other, we still get Star Wars, we still know how Star Wars works, and also a female, a black man, and a Hispanic man as your leads, or Latino. Actually, there is a difference between Hispanic and Latino. I don't remember what it is. I'm talking about Poe. Yes, Poe's not really a lead, but I'm going under the.
I thought he was really white.
No.
Really?
Yeah, he's Guatemalan American.
Okay.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Which I'm all about the fact that I love that we have diverse Star Wars, because that's so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. Especially the fact that you have ass-kicking female Jedi in a way that you never, Padme almost got there but didn't quite. Leia took a different tack. She never really embraced any Forceness, which is fine, because that was her character, and it's cool. But you hear that, women can be Jedi too, but you have no real examples of that until now, that you have an awesome Lady Jedi, and I love Rey so much.
She's fantastic.
I love Rey.
Well, I felt like at first, when Rey and Finn first met, there was the whole hand bit.
Oh, I ship them. I ship them forever. I
hated that.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I don't ship them. I don't want them to be a thing. I don't know. I don't feel like they fit.
I am a unabashed shipper of protagonists, though. That's the other thing about this movie, is that this is so far and away the funniest Star Wars movie. This is a legitimately funny movie. And not in a way that it's like a comedy. It's not that they are jokes as much as it is stuff that makes you laugh.
Yeah.
But intentionally, unlike in the prequels where there's shit that makes you laugh because you're like, what the fuck's going on?
It's stupid, fuck you, Jar Jar. I feel like in the originals, the funniest characters were Han Solo, maybe. Leia every now and then had her funny moments, and Luke every now and then tried it. And he wasn't funny.
Exactly. There's so many. But the timing of all these moments, and the fact that you have moments like the thumbs up bit is a great. It's such a great moment, and it's just a perfect joke that works right there in the moment and just moves on past it. Or I think my favorite joke in the whole. Or joke sequence in the whole movie is the part where she's pointing at the thing, and he's like, "Is it this? Nope. It's the one I'm pointing at. The one I'm pointing at. Nope. That one.
We could die."
More mad at him as he keeps fucking up, and it was like, the timing of all those things was. The actors played it perfectly. It was edited perfectly.
I really wish the New Order had comedic moments. Yeah, they weren't humanized at all.
The only one, which is another one of the great jokes of it, is when the two stormtroopers walk and then nope.
But that's still
which
not
is gonna
be
such a great reaction gif.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I'm gonna use that all the time.
I think my favorite comedic thing that's come out of it is emo Kylo Ren.
Oh, emo Kylo Ren is the jam.
Twitter account, fantastic. But I felt like there weren't many. Well, that's a comedic moment for the New Order, but not that's just some stormtroopers.
Yes. The main villains the main villains are not funny ever. They are always dark and intense. Which is
I'm sorry. That's But that's very typical, I feel, Star Wars.
Sure. I mean, obviously Kylo Ren is a much more humanized villain than anyone in the original trilogy. Kylo Ren is a Star Wars villain you can only have in a post-Darth Vader world, both for logistical reasons of he's a Darth Vader fanboy, but also because you would never be able to go the other direction of complicated, tortured villain and then go to who is literally a stone cold badass that shows no emotion and no feeling. Until the moments when the cracks break further and further throughout the series. Speaking of which, in rewatching Empire Strikes Back, the lightsaber fight that he has with Luke, which is so good. I think it's intentional of how much he tries not to kill Luke, and how much he's like, alright, you know what I'm going to do? Use the Force powers to throw light things at his head to knock him out, instead of use my lightsaber to kill him, when I totally could do that. And that you get that, he's with the knowledge later on that he's his dad, spoiler, it makes sense of, he's trying to capture him. And he keeps talking about how I want him alive, I want him frozen, I want him captured, and never goes for the kill in the way that he could, obviously, because he's Darth Vader.
It's like he didn't want to kill his son, and then Kylo Ren kills his father.
Here's a question. What did you think that Kylo was asking? What did you think that Kylo was asking when he said, "Can you help me, Father?
Can you help, kill, I think he knew he was gonna kill him.
Okay.
I think the entire time throughout that scene, he is gonna kill him.
Yeah, because that's what
planning on killing him.
That's what I read too. As soon as that first scene, I thought he was asking, "I'm tortured, I'm conflicted. I need you to help remove this pain I need you to help remove the pain of the light side by letting me kill you so that I can be all in the dark side." Rewatching it the second time was the first time that I thought, you could read this also as, help me, I'm conflicted, there's so much pain, can you take the pain away? I just want to go back to being your kid and be a good boy again.
Yeah, well I think that's the whole point. Obviously he's bluffing Han Solo. I think that's the whole point, is he's trying to bait and switch Han Solo. I think he did that on purpose. I think he went out onto the walk knowing that his dad would come talk to him. He came up for this confrontation.
I think he came for the confrontation. I don't think he necessarily went on the bridge.
Well, yeah, maybe not for
but yeah.
I still think one of the funniest moments though in the entire movie for me was when Kylo Ren takes off his mask for the first time, and you see his face with his hair, and I burst out laughing in the theater.
Same. And then on repeat viewings, then that becomes a scary, intense moment because you have the whole realization of, oh shit, he doesn't need the mask. He's just doing it because he wants to be like Darth Vader, which is its own brand of twisted and scary.
There's something about Kylo Ren that feels very, very teenager.
Yes. Oh, he's such a...
Kylo Ren is a perfect, because it's he's a 16-year-old, emo kid.
Yeah, a lot of podcasts I listen to have been talking about Star Wars over the last couple weeks, and I listened to one yesterday, a show called Rocket, but their episode was called Kylo Ren is a Complete Millennial. Yeah, he's a whiny millennial kid. And that makes sense, Han and Leia, totally baby boomer parents of this is rough, we're just gonna go back to doing our thing. Just like you go hang out with your uncle for a bit. Oh, that didn't work? I'm gonna go smuggle now. Bye. Bye. Whoops. Our son's dead, sorry.
So that's probably my favorite character, by the way, in the first movie, because of his potential.
Yes.
Kylo Ren's potential. I felt like his entire arc is going to be fantastic. And this first step was okay. I felt like there were some times when, I don't know, his acting was there were very, very notable moments for me where I was like, I do not like you as an actor right now. When he was holding the lightsaber with Rey, as there was the rift behind her, and he's like, I can teach you, I can do, for just some reason, the way how he said it and the look on his face was just shitty acting for me.
Sure. Yeah, I will say, when especially the second time through, the voice acting that he does in the mask is really good.
Yes.
And I love the fact that it takes more from the Bane sound design than from Darth Vader, of it's muffled, but in a really interesting way, and the air gets sucked out of the rest of the room, and it's cuts through in this sort of spooky scare, the sound design of all of that is bonkers and perfect, and I love it. And it's very quietly intense, as opposed to Darth Vader shouting a lot.
Fun fact, my dad's buddy from high school, I think, or college, he did the voice effects for Darth Vader, using an airplane, fighter jet, oxygen mask.
Okay, yeah. The original Star Wars movies are and will always be my number one perfect example of amazing sound design. The way that we think of how lasers are supposed to sound is the Star Wars laser sound, which someone actually went and created by hitting strings in interesting ways and mixing those sounds and doing, like, an actual person created this thing that's in the back of everyone's mind of, that's a laser pew pew noise. And
that's what Star Wars was, is it created so many new, different, amazing things, and that's why it is so beloved.
Yes.
And that is the same reason why it didn't score 10 out of 10.
Sure.
For me. Force Awakens didn't score 10 out of 10.
The first Star Wars movie has its problems, with no question.
Oh, absolutely.
Mark Hamill's not a good actor in that movie. It's the first act of that movie is incredibly slow in ways that are both good, but also ways that are slow. Like, you probably could get away with cutting a lot of this shit with the Jawas. Would be fine. I'm so jazzed for episode 8, though. Partially because I just love the character of Rey. So Rey and Finn,
fantastic.
And Poe and Kylo and BB-8, and Maz. I love every single new character that they introduced.
What I'm excited for, I don't know.
Except for Captain Phasma. Captain Phasma just doesn't get enough shit to do, which is really upsetting.
Who's Captain Phasma again?
Metal Stormtrooper lady.
Oh yeah. I'm excited for Rey's story. I don't know what she's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Luke's story was like pretty predictable on like he's gonna go up against his father and like battle with the light inside of him versus the dark inside of him with Kenobi as his mentor. I feel like even though Luke is probably like the main character, it was more like he was going along. It was like Mad Max, where he was the center of the story but not necessarily the most important. Rey, I feel, is kind of in a similar way.
Yeah.
I mean, she's fantastic, and in my opinion, a better actor than Mark Hamill is,
certainly,
by far, and is doing it so much better.
There was a lot of talk over the last couple of weeks about this idea of Rey being a quote-unquote Mary Sue character, which is a term that came out of fan fiction, especially Star Trek fan fiction, that like all of these terms, it's like Manic Pixie Dream or stuff like that. It's originally a way to point out a very specific thing that happens, and has now sort of molded over the years into a used in sexist ways term of like, I don't like that female character. Stuff. And so what the Mary Sue was you would write your Star Trek fan fiction, and it would be usually a female author would write themselves, because they were the ones most writing fan fiction, would write in a new original character into the Star Trek universe, and that character was a great pilot and a great scientist and a great engineer and great at everything and wonderful, and then Kirk falls in love with her and Spock falls in love with her too, and they fight over him, and it's the author's way of saying like, I'm so great, I'm putting myself in the story and I'm the best at everything, which has sort of morphed more into a term, and that's I think what a lot of people were using, of like saying that Rey's a Mary Sue because she's unnaturally good. Like, there's no way she could be that good at flying, and no way she could be that good at fighting and stuff like that.
Well,
and I'm like, they do so much work to show the reason. Like, she's competent at fighting with a stick before she fights with a lightsaber, and then how does she fight with a lightsaber? The exact same way she fights with her stick. In the same way that Finn, you see Finn fights with his lightsaber. Neither of them fight the way Kylo or any Jedi would. Finn fights like homie with the stun baton does, of just very like, hit you, and then Rey fights like, I'm fighting with a stick, I'm gonna poke you, I'm gonna whirl it around, shit like that.
That was something that like
she's a scout.
I forget, I don't know, someone complained about of how Rey beat Kylo Ren, like the bad guys, he lost because he was a bad guy, which I think it was so much more than that.
Yeah.
I think like, it sounds super cheesy, but people don't put enough faith into like the power of the Force.
Oh yeah. Like,
she just is becoming actualized in the power of the Force. Kylo Ren, what did he just do? He just killed his father and is in like an incredible state of turmoil. So like,
also got shot.
Yeah, got shot and keeps like. First off, that was fantastic. He's trying to draw like the power of pain, which like very fantastic, and like
total dark side move. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. I love Kylo Ren. He's fantastic. Even though he's a whiny, he could be a whiny, annoying asshole, but like, he's not quite.
Well, no, he's an interesting, whiny, annoying asshole, I think, is my thought process of like, yeah, he is kind of mopey and has anger issues and stuff like that, but he's interesting, and I want to see where it's going. But no, because that whole fight, you see she does an okay job at first. Then she gives into her rage and actually starts doing a pretty good job, but then starts doing worse and worse as she gives more and more into her rage, because then Kylo also is like, great, use your hatred, dark side, blah, blah. And then is about to lose, and then she's like, wait, I'm going to literally take several seconds to use the Force. And then she calms down. It's the exact same thing that happens in the room with the Stormtrooper, who apparently is played by Daniel Craig, plays that Stormtrooper.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
he refuses to confirm it, but but it does sound like him. And he did say earlier that he had a cameo in the movie, and other people like Simon Pegg, who is an actual confirmed person in the movie, has said like, yeah, Daniel Craig was there.
Oh my god!
But it's the exact same thing of she's trying, she's energetic and frenetic and scared, and then she calms down and says, "Wait, Force, great, calm," and it works.
That's what I love about Star is like, or that's one of the things I like is like every lightsaber battle is a story.
Yeah,
it has a point to the story and is usually a turning point. At least with the originals and this movie.
Yeah, and that last one with Finn and Rey and Kylo is one of the coolest examples of seeing three different people with very distinct fighting styles. Yes. None of which are quite normal Jedi fighting, which makes sense because they're all not normal Jedi by any stretch. Say what you will about the prequels, there's so many stuff that's wrong with them, especially Phantom Menace has so many flaws with it, but holy shit, that final lightsaber fight might be the single best fight of the entire movie series.
Well, yeah, I would say like in terms of just like actual fights, like just the fight part of it, I wouldn't say in terms of like the grander story. Like
yeah, I mean, I think it's, for me, that is a good example of the fight itself is a story, like best analog of like fighting to dance that I've seen in a lot of the movies of it has rhythm, it has movement, it has peaks and valleys and flows in and out, is well paced, and it does show interesting character bits, especially when the laser walls come on and you see Darth Maul's like pacing around, angrily waiting to fight more. Qui-Gon sits down and prays. Obi-Wan's just like, come on, let me fight, come on, let me fight, come on, let me fight. And it doesn't hurt that Duel of Fates music is... some of, like... Yeah. We sat in a theater and heard the Star Wars score. Again, in a theater, and saw a new opening crawl that, like, especially that first time that... the fact that it starts out with Luke Skywalker has vanished, that's such a good way for them to have started the crawl of like, all right, I'm in, I'm hooked now.
I really like
it's so pulpy and old school serial.
It was interesting because they simultaneously made, like, that's a big decision. Of, like, making Luke disappear, but at the same time, everything still felt really safe, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which, like, I really wish that they hadn't gone really safe.
Yeah.
Like, I wish they had tried to take a risk. And
sure.
Like, I think I read some interview of George Lucas who was like, that's what I did in the first movies was like, or the prequels was like, I took risks and like I didn't want to direct or help out with this new one because like they wouldn't let me take risks. And it's like, part of me is like, fuck you, George Lucas. Most of me is like that. But they didn't take risks, which is okay. They better take more risks later. It's a reintroduction back into Star Wars.
And the other thing, not only is it a reintroduction to Star Wars, but it's also, you know, the first 6 movies, like it or not, do actually tell a pretty complete story. From episode 1 through 6. The rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker. Or fall and rise, depending on whether how you choose to look at it. And there's no way that this new one, the new trilogy, is going to be able to that effectively tell a complete story from 1 to 9, I don't think. In the same way that 1 to 6 did.
Certainly not.
And it makes a little bit more sense, as I was thinking about this earlier today, that this is actually episode 1 of the fact that we're probably going to get new Star Wars movies for the rest of our lives. Because now that Disney owns them. Like, there is an...
It's going to be interesting.
There is a non-zero chance that we won't live to see the last Star Wars movie.
Wow.
I don't know how great of a chance that is, but it's certainly greater than zero if Disney decides to keep milking this. Depending on how Disney decides to go with this, I could see maybe the closest analog being James Bond or something like that. Not exactly the same in that it will be one continuous universe.
That's also the thing. Like, I hope it's not. Like, I don't want it to be...
But in terms of the idea of a movie series that'll last new movies coming out every couple of years for like 50 years.
Well, I don't want it even to be like a series.
Yeah.
Like I want there to be like we just get random expanded universe style books, except in movie form of like
which we do. I'm so excited for Rogue One. So that's the movie that's coming out, I guess now this year because it's 2016. But
Happy New Year.
It's so they are doing the like main trilogy, and then I think they're called Star Wars Anthology is the term for the movies that aren't off of the main trilogy but still in the same universe.
Yeah.
And the 3 that they've announced so far, one of which is coming out later this year, and already has been filming and has a cast and everything. It's called Rogue One, and it's the story of stealing the plans for the Death Star before Episode 4.
Whoa!
And I'm so excited for that movie.
That's
it's
cool.
I think that could work really well if it's a single standalone movie with a whole new cast, telling an interesting story, going back in time, and like you can do whatever you want with it because it's still in canon, but it's not the Star Wars trilogy anymore, and you can take more risk. And it doesn't matter if this doesn't set up for a sequel because
it's just a one-off.
Whatever, it's just a one-off. Yeah, the plans get stolen, and you know what the story is of. They try to steal the plans, and then they succeed at stealing the plans.
I want to see something that's like, though, like maybe that's gonna be like Rogue. What would you say?
Rogue One.
Rogue One. Maybe that's gonna be style for Rogue One of like, just a different style, not like in the feeling of a Star Wars, like a film noir type.
Yeah, I have faith by virtue of the fact that Disney also owns Marvel, and Marvel has been doing a very good job of letting each movie series have its own vibe to it. That. You have Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Guardians of the Galaxy came out in the same year.
Completely different.
And that you have, Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and also Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are the 2 Marvel shows you have on TV. And couldn't be more different. So I hope that they take that same approach Lucasfilm does with the Star Wars movies of letting them be true to whatever their story should be. There's a shit ton of movies that take place on our Earth, and they all have different styles. So what is it like? It's just another story that takes place in the Star Wars universe. That's the same way that, we have film noirs and romantic comedies. Yeah. Both take place on Earth. So we can have
that's the thing. It's like sci-fi, like...
Just put it in that universe instead.
Like, there's some quote that I know about sci-fi. I forgot what it was. Something along the lines of, like, sci-fi, the most beautiful thing about it is it's at its core, it's an exploration of, like, human emotions. Mm-hmm. It's just in a different, like, spaces involved, usually. Like, so, like, that's what I like. But it's always about, like, human differences and human emotion and the way how you look at it that way. And the best sci-fi books and movies are good, not because, like, space and explosions. It's because, like, Star Wars is about family drama.
Yeah.
She finds out, oh, my parents are here or something, and I've waited forever. Turns out they're dead. And because of that, she turns to the dark side, joins Kylo, and then by the 3rd movie, like...
We're all done.
She kills Luke and Leia, and like puts on her mask